Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. Here now this week's news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. This past weekend, the eyes of the wrestling community were on Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. It was the biggest college wrestling duel of the year. The battle between the then number 1 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes and the number 2 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys, regarded as two of the most successful college programs in history. The duel would captivate the interest of the entire wrestling community and help set the tone for the balance of the collegiate season. It was a standing room only crowd of some 15,400 fans that tripped the turnstiles that night, and it turned out to be an ideal opportunity to promote USA Wrestling's most important event of the 2012 schedule, the U.S. Olympic Team Trials set for Carver Hawkeye April 21st and 22nd. Now, the intermission of the collegiate duel allowed the University of Iowa the opportunity to add 2 men's freestyle exhibition bouts. The freestyle exhibition matches showcase former Hawkeye stars in competition against top international contenders. We'll start with 2-time NCAA champion Brent Metcalf. He was first to be introduced, and the Hawkeye faithful responded with a rousing cheer. Metcalf, a 2010 World Team member, defeated Canadian Hazelin Garcia, who took 5th at the 2010 World Championships. Hit rewind. Let's take a look at how it all went down. Metcalf won the first period 1-0 after scoring a takedown from the clinch. Then came back in the second period to score a late takedown to win that period 1-0 and take the match in 2 straight. The match had additional meaning, by the way, as both the U.S. and Canada still must qualify this weight class for the Olympics. In winning, Metcalf avenged a loss to Garcia at the 2009 Pan American Championships.
I do one step at a time, so not really worrying about that. That's in March. So right now I'm worried about next competition, but it's a matter of life and death. If we don't qualify, then you don't go. It don't matter what happens here. So that's one guy got to beat, Canada, and then there's a number of other South American guys. Venezuela's good, Puerto Rico's good. They're all good. But I think that's probably your number 1 competition right there.
2008 Olympian Steve Mocco was the featured star in the second bout of the night. Mocco had the unique honor of having won an NCAA title for both the Hawkeyes and the Cowboys. Mocco won the NCAA heavyweight title for Iowa in 2003 and went on to win the same title for Oklahoma State 2 years later in 2005. Mocco battled a tough young German and Nick Matuin, a World Team member who also placed 5th at the 2011 European Championships. Let's take a look at the bout. Mocco was first on the board as he scored a takedown in the final 20 seconds of the opening period, nearly taking Matuin to his back. He came back with a strong second period, scoring 2 different takedowns and showcasing strong defense to win the bout in straight periods 1-0, 2-0. Mocco gave his reaction to his victory in front of the Carver Hawkeye faithful.
Yeah, it was a real treat for me to wrestle here in front of the crowd in the stadium again. It's been probably close to 10 years since I wrestled in a home match here, being like the home athlete, so it was a really, really good treat, and it's awesome when you wrestle in there, you know.
Well, the matches provided top international competition to both of the athletes prior to April's U.S. Olympic Team Trials. It also helped promote the Olympic trials among fans in the sold-out arena. We look forward to seeing both Metcalf and Mocco back on the mats in Carver Hawkeye at April's Olympic Team Trials, and we'll look forward to seeing you there as well. Well, the dual meet between Iowa and Oklahoma State met all expectations as the athletes from both teams gave impressive performances in a very intense setting. Let's set the stage for the match. Iowa entered the dual meet ranked number 1 and unbeaten in its last 84 duels. I said 84 duels. That tied the national record for an undefeated streak, first set by the Cowboys of Oklahoma State back in 1959 through 1966 under then legendary coach Myron Roderick. The last time Iowa lost a dual meet was to Oklahoma State. It was the first battle between these two teams with the number 1 and number 2 ranking since 2003. Now, it's fair to say there was a lot at stake, and the SRO crowd made things even more exciting. Well, the showdown was not decided until the final match was over. Scriptwriters in Hollywood wouldn't dare to write a more thrilling finish. The duel started at heavyweight, and Russian native Alan Gulagayev got the OSU Cowboys off to a strong start. Gulagayev tossed Hawkeye rookie Bobby Telford to his back for 5 big points in the first period and cruised to a 10-2 major decision to put the visitors up 4-0. The Cowboys had drawn first blood in that hostile environment. Next up, it was 125 pounds. The Hawkeyes rebounded with a major decision of their own as 2010 NCAA champion Matt McDonough dominated John Morrison. McDonough racked up the points with 6 takedowns on the way to a 14-4 victory. I said 6 takedowns, 6 of them. The dual meet was tied at 4-4. The fans couldn't get enough. Now the battle at 33 came up, and it was a classic. Oklahoma State's 2011 NCAA champion Jordan Oliver faced talented Tony Ramos of Iowa. It was a wild match, to say the least. A riding time error was corrected in Ramos's favor, putting the match into overtime. Ramos received a point on a caution during the overtime and then rode Oliver out to secure a 5-4 victory. It was Oliver's first loss in 39 bouts, and the win by Ramos put the team score now at 7-4 in the favor of Iowa. We go down to 141 pounds. The Hawkeyes continue to build a 10-4 lead after a clutch 9-7 win by two-time All-American Montel Marion. It was a strong Cowboy performance by sophomore Josh Kindig, who led 6-5 with 30 seconds remaining, and then, as he's done so often in his career, Marion dug down deep and scored a takedown and a late 2-point near fall, winning the bout. Oklahoma State answered back with 2 straight victories of their own in the seesaw battle of the night. At 149 pounds, undefeated Cowboy All-American Jamal Parks scored an 8-3 decision over Mike Kelly, moving his record to 15-0. The Hawkeyes' lead began to shrink now, leading only by 3. The score going into intermission, 10-7. John Smith then rallied the Cowboys during the break. They came out and tied the duel 10-10 after another win at 157 pounds. It was senior Albert White who used a slick third-period takedown to beat the young Nick Moore 7-4. Nick had stepped into the lineup, replacing the injured Derek St. John. The 165-pound bout went to Iowa's Mike Evans, a 5-1 winner over Cowboy Dallas Bailey, putting the Hawks up now by 13-10. That margin tight as ever. The temperature inside the Venerable Arena was rising, and then things got testy. The battle at 74 pounds featured 2 of college wrestling's top stars. Oklahoma State's Chris Perry just recently dropped to 74 from 184 pounds. He was set to face Iowa's Ethan Lofthouse. 3 periods weren't enough to settle the differences between the two competitors. The bout went to overtime after a late Perry escape. Perry used a ride-out and escape in the first set of the tiebreakers to beat Lofthouse 3-2. Now, after 8 bouts, the score between the two teams was tied 13-all. At 184 pounds, Iowa jumped back into a 16-13 lead. One unheralded Hawk, Vinnie Wagner, scored a reversal in the final 20 seconds to score a 4-3 victory over Cowboy Chris McNeil. And then there was one bout to decide it all. It all came down to 197 pounds. An undersized heavyweight last year, Oklahoma State's Blake Rochelle had moved down to 197 for this year's campaign. Even now, he's battling teammate Cale Byers for the starting spot in the Cowboy lineup. Rochelle gave a clutch performance when he beat Iowa's All-American Grant Gambrell. The final match score was 7-4. This ended the dual meet in a tie at 16-all. All in, all done. Hang on to your hats, not so fast. The last time these two teams met, the dual meet ended as a 13-13 tie. The new NCAA rules, however, do not allow for ties in dual meets anymore, so this duel went to the officials to determine. Now, each school claimed 5 bouts, and each had a major decision. Oklahoma State won the dual meet on criteria number 3, the most points scored in the individual bouts. An additional point was added to the overall Oklahoma State score from the tiebreaker, giving the Cowboys the victory at 17-16. At the end of the night, Iowa's undefeated streak was over, and the record will continue to be jointly held by both the Hawkeyes and the Cowboys. This dual meet could not be any closer and will go down in history as another classic showdown between these two incredible programs. Well, USA Wrestling's Folkestyle Tour of America continued last weekend with the record-setting Salt Lake Slam in Heber City, Utah. Over 900 entries from 14 states, the Slam set the record as the largest event in the history of the Folkestyle Tour of America. Now, the level of competition was spectacular in all divisions. Claiming a gold medal in the novice 70-pound weight class was Ridge Lovett of Team Real Life from Idaho. Lovett was a USA Wrestling Kids Triple Crown winner just last year. He had an impressive performance, including a 5-3 victory over Zach Kohler of Wasatch, Utah, in the championship bout. Named as the outstanding wrestler in the intermediate division was William Haight from Team Legacy of Utah, the champion at 60 pounds. Now, we have video of his semifinal victory over Kobe Christians of the Emory All-Stars from Utah, which ended as a 5-2 victory for Haight. One of the others with a noteworthy performance at the Slam was Brock Hardy of Box Elder Junior High School of Utah, who was the individual champ at 105 pounds in the middle school division. Hardy scored a razor-thin 8-7 victory over talented Josiah Ryder of the Bad Dogs from Colorado in the championship bout. Now, the medal winners winners from this event scored valuable points in USA Wrestling's Future Olympians ranking, which rewards top youth wrestlers for their success in major USA Wrestling competitions. Next up for the Folkestyle Tour of America is the always tough Georgia Grind, set for February 11th and 12th in Suwanee, Georgia. Online registration is now available, so athletes are encouraged to sign up right away because this event will also schedule itself to be a sellout. You don't want to wait. Get online now, usafolkstyle.com. That's where you're going to find out more about this and other events in the program. All right, fans, stay tuned. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly when we come back, so stay tuned.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Earlier this season, we reported that there would be a change in the national dual meet format in Division I wrestling. 4 regional events followed by a Final Four showdown in February, you recall. However, the national dual meet format for the other divisions in college wrestling has not changed. This past weekend, top teams from 5 different college divisions came together at the Prairie Capital Convention Center in Springfield, Illinois for the NWCA Cliff Key National Duels in Springfield. Now, it proved out to be a great weekend for colleges from the state of Iowa, who won 3 of the 5 team titles against the best competitors in their respective divisions. In the NAIA level, the event was a coming out party for Grandview University. The Vikings, in only their 4th year of existence, powered past top-seeded Great Falls 31-7 to win that title. Great Falls jumped out to a 7-3 lead after the first 3 weights, with victories by Danny Luttrell at 125 pounds and NAIA champion Anthony Barnell at 141 pounds, but the next 7 weights, well, they all went to the Vikings. Last year, the Vikings finished 7th at the event, and based on the performances of Brad Lauer at 165 pounds, Derek Neitster at 197 pounds, the Vikings began to pull away. Their victories provided statement victories as each pinned their opponents. Grandview heavyweight Eric Thompson was named the outstanding wrestler of the NAIA division, and the Iowa State transfer picked up 2 falls on the weekend, including a pin over top-ranked Leviticus Robertson of Midland. Grandview head coach Nick Mitchell talked to us about the victory.
It's awesome. It is. I mean, that's what we talked about from day one, and it's been a long time. These seniors that wrestled here, those guys, they were here from the get-go. I mean, Travis Evans, Ty Noller, Nick Hoffman, those guys have been here since year 1, when this seemed like something crazy to talk about, but we've been talking about it since then.
One of the major powers of Division III wrestling is Wartburg, an Iowa college with a rich wrestling tradition. Now in the finals, top-ranked Wartburg trounced rival Augsburg of Minnesota 29-6. The Knights built a 19-0 lead with victories at the first 5 weights. Wartburg's Drew Wagenhofer scored a first-period win over Jake Sotzer at 149 pounds. That win by pin. 2 other Knights earned major decision victories, both 125-pounder Kenneth Anderson and a 197-pound teammate, the sensation Byron Tate, chimed in with excellent performances of their own. It was Wartburg's 6th Division III National Duels Championship, and they did it with dominance. As a team, Wartburg lost only 6 individual matches the entire tournament. Head coach Jim Miller assessed his team's performance.
You know, it's been a fierce competition. We end up on the right side of most of the matches, but we know it's going to be a lot tougher next time. We just tried to, hey, one guy at a time, do our best, man. It's pretty simple formula. We're going to keep trying that one.
Ithaca College's Jules Dalaskar went 4-0 and was named the Division III Outstanding Wrestler. Dalaskar beat returning Division III National Champion Michael Schmitz of UW La Crosse in the third-place dual meet. Now, the other Iowa-based team to win a national duels title was Iowa Central, the champion in the NJCAA Junior College Division. Iowa Central cruised past Labette 31-10 to win the NJCAA championship match. Two Iowa Central wrestlers scored pins in the dual meet: Jacob Colin at 125 pounds and Colton Kirsten at 197 pounds. The team also registered 4 major decisions, piling up the bonus points in the championship round. Clackamus's Austin Moorhead was the junior college division's outstanding wrestler. Now in Division II, St. Cloud State from Minnesota won its first national duels crown when they beat top-seeded Newberry 23-12 in the finals bout. St. Cloud State's Andrew Porkney scored a 38-second pin over Matt Oliver at 133 pounds. St. Cloud also racked up 2 major decisions, with Tad Merritt defeating Sean Burns 12-1 at 157 pounds, and Jake Hankey stopped Jake Elkins 19-8 at heavyweight. Head coach Steve Costanzo gave us his perspective of St. Cloud's clutch victory.
Oh, it's just one step closer to that process. This is one of the goals, just winning the national duels. It was a big deal to us, but it's not the end of the season. You know, our guys need to enjoy it on our 10, 11-hour bus trip home, and then get back to work on Monday, Tuesday. So it's part of the process, and it's part of our season goals, but it's not everything. But we're sure happy about this.
Well, congratulations to Limestone's Dan Scanlon, who was named the Division II Outstanding Wrestler. Now, 2 top teams in women's college freestyle wrestling met in the WCWA Championship Finals. Oklahoma City won its 5th straight National Duels Championship, beating a very competitive King College squad. The final, 25-14. 2-time world champion Christy Davis scored a pin for OCU over Lori Ramos in 1 minute 38 seconds at 155 pounds. Emily Webster also got a pin for the Stars at 101 pounds, putting away Shannon Constantine at 1 minute 40. OCU won 6 of the 10 bouts against King. Oklahoma City's Jennifer Page was the tournament's outstanding wrestler, in part due to her upset win over King's junior world bronze medalist Allie Reagan at 143 pounds. OCU head coach Archie Randall talks about his team's outstanding performance.
We had a couple matches that we haven't lost to those girls in 3 or 4 times, but you wrestle 4 or 5 times against the same opponent, things can happen. This is a precursor for our national tournament in 2 weeks, and that's what it's important. It's important to find out what errors and mistakes you make now so that we don't lose the individual championship in 2 weeks.
Well, the women's college wrestling season finalizes January 28th at the WCWA National Championships, which will be hosted by King College. USA Wrestling Weekly will have complete coverage of that important tournament, which is also an Olympic trials qualifier in women's freestyle. Well, the International Winter Tour season is upon us, and top athletes from around the planet will be competing at major events all around the world. These tournaments provide valuable international experience for the athletes, and with the Olympic Games only months away, these events are a vital part of an athlete's prep for success. Women's Freestyle Team USA will be very busy on a pair of tours overseas in January. A group of 7 women's freestyle wrestlers will compete at the Mongolia Open in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, that date, January 14th and 15th. All 7 athletes on the tour are past U.S. World Team members. Included on that Mongolian tour is 2-time world champion Christy Davis at 158 pounds. Davis has won 9 world medals in her career, the most of any U.S. athlete in any style, tied with the legendary Bruce Baumgartner. 2008 world champion Clarissa Chen will wrestle in Mongolia at 105 pounds. Chen was 5th at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, China. 2011 world bronze medalist Ali Bernard joins the Mongolian tour at 158 pounds. She was 5th at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. National women's coach Terry Steiner talks about the competition in Mongolia.
Well, the Mongolia tour, we actually went over there last May, and this is actually the same competition we were in at that time, and they just moved it back to January. And we just don't get a chance that much to wrestle those Asian countries, and I just felt it was important to get in there as early as we can.
One other group of 10 U.S. women athletes will enter the Ivan Urigin Memorial Grand Prix in Krasnoyarsk, Russia, that date, January 26th through the 29th. It's one of the toughest wrestling competitions in the world every year. Now, included on the team, 2011 world bronze medalist Adeline Gray at 147 pounds. Gray was a silver medalist at the 2011 Junior World Championships and won a Junior World title in 2009. 2011 World Team member Helen Maroulis will compete at 121 pounds. She won a Junior World Silver medal last year and boasts 3 career Junior World medals. 2005 World Champion Iris Smith will compete at 158 pounds. Smith is just one of 5 U.S. women wrestlers to ever win a gold medal at the Regan Memorial, taking the title back in 2004. Another past year Regan champion who will be on the tour again this year is Kelsey Campbell. She won a title there at 130 pounds in 2010. Campbell will be wrestling at 121 pounds in Russia this year. Coach Steiner talks about the challenge ahead for Team USA in Russia.
You know, you got to get over there. You got to be able to stay strong mentally and do the right things in adverse conditions. You know, and Russia always has some depth in there and has some good people at those weights. So, you know, we're just going over, again, to try to hit the best competition we can.
Well, it's a busy time for our Olympic caliber athletes, as I've said, and they'll be training and competing at international events over the next few months. USA Wrestling Weekly will have extensive updates on Team USA as the season progresses. All right, fans, stay tuned. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly when we come back, so stay tuned.
Has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
Wrestling fans, USA Wrestling has launched a top social networking site designed for you. USA Wrestling Nation is the latest innovation provided to the wrestling community by our sports national governing body, USA Wrestling. Post photos, blogs, and videos, interact on boards. Keep up with your favorite wrestling personalities with USA Wrestling Nation. It's free to register. Join the thousands of wrestling fans that have already signed up and become a part of the USA Wrestling Nation at usawrestlingnation.com. Well, big news now out of Long Island, New York over the holidays prior to the championship finals of the 48th Massapequa High School Wrestling Tournament December 28th. It was announced that the wrestling room at Massapequa High School would be named in honor of longtime USA Wrestling leader Al Beval Aqua. The announcement about the decision honored Coach B was held in front of a packed gymnasium at the event. Coach Beval Aqua was there in attendance and addressed the audience at the completion of the ceremony. He was greeted with applause from a community which has appreciated his leadership. The local community has rallied to fund the renovation of the room to a state-of-the-art facility. In addition to recognizing Beval Aqua, the walls will tell the history of wrestling in Massapequa, honoring its great athletes and coaches. This artist rendition was presented during the announcement showing the big plans for the newly dedicated facility. Beval Aqua was an educator with the Massapequa Public Schools from 1961 to 1994. Starting as an assistant coach, Beval Aqua next served 15 years as his head wrestling coach and has been involved in the program in a leadership capacity ever since. USA Wrestling is very proud of Al. He was named the 2005 USA Wrestling Man of the Year for his lifetime of service. Last month, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame announced that Beval Aqua will be receiving its Order of Merit Award during the Hall of Fame Honors Weekend in June of 2012. Beval Aqua has served in almost every possible role within wrestling, including as a coach, an administrator, and a visionary. Our special thanks to Joe D'Aquila of Phototrends.com for providing these great photos of Coach Beval Aqua. By the way, Coach Beval Aqua leads the Beat the Streets USA program, helping develop wrestling opportunities in urban areas across the country. He was a founder and leader of the successful Beat the Streets New York program, which has transformed the sport in one of the world's leading cities. All right, with the new year upon us, the focus of the international sports community is on the 2012 Summer Olympic Games in London. Later this year, athletes across the world are training hard, pursuing their lifelong dream of winning that Olympic gold. With American wrestling, the road to London goes through Iowa City at the 2012 U.S. Olympic Team Trials, April 21st 22nd. The qualification process is now underway to determine the elite field of competitors who will compete at Carver Hawkeye Arena for spots on that Olympic team. The local host in Iowa City caught up with 2004 Olympic champion Cale Sanderson, who shared his thoughts about the coming Olympic trials.
Well, the Olympic trials are the premier event in the United States, and it only comes around every 4 years. There's a lot on the line, and you'll see that if you show up and you watch the matches. It's what everybody dreams about, and it's one opportunity, one shot type of a deal.
All right, well, it's time for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week. These pictures are sent in by fans and families from around the country and are being considered for our photo contest page on USA Wrestler Magazine, as well as our wrestling Facebook page. Now, this week, USA Wrestling's Photo of the Week is taken by Scott Schul, depicts an 8-year-old Jaden Hinton securing a leg cradle in a recent bout. You can have your photographs considered for USA Wrestling's photo contest just by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, folks, that'll do it for this week's show. We appreciate you watching USA Wrestling Weekly each and every week as we tell you the stories of America's greatest athletes. For all of us at the show, thanks for watching. I'm Scott Casper, and good night.